Today I'm going to show you a 2022 American superhero film, Thor: Love and Thunder. Major spoilers ahead, sit back, relax and enjoy. At the beginning of the movie, we could see a man named Gorr, praying to his gods to keep his daughter alive, as they were hopeless in a desert. Despite his cry for help, his daughter eventually died. He heads out into the forest to look for water and food. After he had found some fruits, he met up with Rapu, the god he had prayed to earlier. He laments to Rapu that his daughter had died in his name and the land is starving. But Rapu mocked him, saying, suffering for his gods is supposed to be his only purpose. Gorr then renounced Rapu, saying he is no god. Rapu becomes angry and tries to strangle Gorr to death, but the god-killing Necrosword offered itself to Gorr. He uses the sword and kills Rapu, then vows to destroy the other gods. After several gods were murdered by the god Butcher, Gorr, Thor the god of thunder goes over to assist the Guardians of the Galaxy to help protect King Yakin's sacred temple. He summoned his ultimate weapon called the Stormbreaker, then uses it to fight off the Habookins. After a long-fought battle, Thor ends up destroying the sacred temple himself. The scene then switches over to Thor's ex-girlfriend, Jane Foster, who was receiving treatment in a hospital after she had been diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. After science and lots of medical treatments proved ineffective, she noticed a Viking book calling unto her. While she was pondering, she then decides to go over to New Asgard to see if she could get a cure. In the next scene we could see New Asgard and all the people living in it seemed to be united and peaceful. They even organized theatrical performances in honor of Thor the god of thunder. When Jane got to New Asgard, she reforges Thor hammer and was able to wield it, as it bonded itself to her. After Thor had defeated the Habookins and helped King Yakin, Yakin offered him giant goats as a token of appreciation, calling him the god of disaster for destroying his sacred temple. Thor then receives a distress call from his friend Sif. She begs him to come save her as the god Butcher was murdering all the gods. He parts way with the Guardians of the Galaxy and goes over with Korg to go save Sif. As he got there he meets Sif, who is badly injured. She tells him to leave her alone as she wanted to die a warrior's death. She then warns him that the god Butcher is coming and he seeks the extinction of the gods. She tells him that his next target is New Asgard. Meanwhile Gorr was already in New Asgard. He summons his shadow demons to attack the people. As Valkyrie was fighting off the demons, Thor arrives with Korg and helps out in fighting them. As he was fighting he was shocked to see Jane Foster wielding Mjolnir's hammer. The narrator then go on to tell us how Thor and Jane were very close before and he had mistakenly enchanted his hammer to protect her at all cost. As Thor was expressing shock, he noticed Gorr and then goes over to fight him. The group then joins in fighting off Gorr, but he escapes kidnapping several Asgardian children. In the next scene, while the people were gathered to get treatments to treat their injuries and make inquiries concerning their children, Thor tried to summon Mjolnir but instead Stormbreaker appeared. Moments later, the people started arguing and fighting. Thor calls them to order and promises to rescue their children. As the group were looking for ways to stop Gorr, Axel, Heimdall's son, appeared. He tells Thor that he has no idea where Gorr was taking them to and he doesn't know how to use his father's magic yet. Thor helped him focus and then finally meets the children. They tell him that they are scared and he should come rescue them. Thor then noticed that Gorr was taking them to the Shadow Realm. As he went back to the group, he told them that they needed stronger reinforcements as Gorr would be stronger in the Shadow Realms. Then they decide to go to Omnipotent City, the home of the most powerful gods in the universe. As they were about leaving for Omnipotent City, they promised Asgardians that they would return with the children. As they got to Omnipotent City, they disguised as the emotion gods to attend the feast Zeus, the leader of the gods, was holding. As they got to the Council of the Holy Gods, Thor tells Zeus why he had come. He tells him that the god Butcher is murdering a lot of gods and he needed their help and an army to stop him. Thor refuses, telling him to keep shut, but Thor kept on going. He then takes off Thor disguises and noticed that they were Asgardians. Thor then tells Zeus that he is scared, that's why he refused to help. Zeus goes over to Thor and admits that he is scared because Gorr has the Necrosword and he could kill him. Thor then tells Zeus to at least give him his weapon, the lightning bolt. Zeus refuses, saying Gorr couldn't do anything because he doesn't have the key to eternity, which is a wishing well to grant the desire of the first person that reaches it. He assures Thor that they were safe and hidden in Omnipotent City and he didn't have to worry. As Thor became more stubborn, Zeus orders his guards to take Thor. The group then helps out in the fighting off the guard. In the battle, Korg's body is lost but his head remained alive. Thor then uses Zeus' lightning bolt to kill him, which Valkyrie steals as they escaped. Thor then appears to the children again. He motivates them, telling them to remain strong and he would rescue them. During an emotional scene, Thor rekindled his relationship with Jane. She tells him that she was dying as she had stage 4 cancer and she thought maybe Viking space magic would help her, since science was proving ineffective. He then assures her that he would always be there for he, as the two engaged in a romantic kiss. As they were kissing, Valkyrie then tells them that had arrived at the Shadow Realm, the place where all the colors goes. As they got to the Shadow Realm, they discovered that the children weren't there and it was a trap set by Gorr to take Thor's axe, Stormbreaker, in order to summon the Bifrost and go inside the realm of the Eternity, where his wish would be granted. As Gorr was choking Jane, Thor becomes angry and breaks through the trap. Thor then fights Gorr. In a fierce battle, Valkyrie was injured and Gorr managed to escape with Stormbreaker. The group then retreats back to Earth. As they got to Earth, Thor was told that there was something affecting Foster's body to fight off the cancer. Thor then go over to Jane. He tells her that each time she used Mjolnir, her mortal strength was drained, leaving her body unable to fight the cancer. He tells her that he loves her and he doesn't want anything to happen to her. As Valkyrie was injured, and Foster in a bad condition, Thor had no choice but to go rescue the children alone. Meanwhile, Gorr had reached the Eternity Realm with the children. He uses the Stormbreaker to open the gates, but Thor arrived just in time as the children were about to be crushed. He tells them not to be afraid as they would go into battle with him as Asgardians. He then empowers them with his Thor magic, as they all went out to attack the Shadow Demons and Gorr. In a hot battle, Gorr was about to kill Thor, but Foster arrives saving him. She joins the battle with Mjolnir. She then tells Thor that the gate is almost open and he had to stop Stormbreaker. As Thor collected the Stormbreaker, he gives it to Axel to take the children back home. While Foster fights Gorr, she destroys the Necrosword, hereby freeing Gorr from its influence and curse. But the gate was already open as the three of them found themselves inside the Eternity Realm. Gorr had to make his wish as he was the first person to open the Eternity Realm. Thor then implores him to seek for love and bring back his daughter back to life instead of seeking for revenge and death. He tells Gorr that he knows Gorr has won, but love is what he needed now. Thor then goes over to Foster, who was already dying after wielding Mjolnir. Moved by the affection Thor showed to Foster, Gorr then wishes that his daughter be brought back to life. Foster finally succumbs to her illness and dies. In a final moment before Gorr died, he reunites with his daughter. He then begs Thor to protect his daughter. Thor promised to adopt the daughter as his own. Then Gorr dies. At the end, Korg gets his body back together and started his own family, while Asgard honored Foster for the sacrifice she made to save Asgard. Valkyrie and Sif began training the Asgardians' children on how to be warriors, while Thor adopted Love as they continued in his heroics. Thor took possession of Mjolnir the hammer, while Love wielded Stormbreaker. Meanwhile, Zeus sent his son Hercules to hunt down Thor, while Foster arrived at the gates of Valhalla where she was honored. The end. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.